Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Jennifer Scrapping Cane. Today I'm sharing an 8.5 by 11 layout, and this is a mixed media layout. I decided to pull out some stencils and play around and see if I could make my own background paper. And I'm showing you the items I'm going to be using on this layout. This is a baby layout of my youngest son, and I only have a few baby pictures left, so I'm kind of taking my time of doing what's left because once they're gone, they're gone. So I'm just kind of taking my time. I only have a few left. So I'm going to use the Pebbles collection. This is a little boy collection. And it's not very babyish, it's just little boyish. But it matches his pajamas perfectly. And the little pajamas he's wearing also have trucks on them. So I'm going to use some wood veneer trucks from Some Assemblage Required, along with wood veneer stars that are they were in my stash. I'm not sure who they're from or where they even came from, but they were just in my box mixed with my other stars. So here I'm getting started on the mixed media. You can see I taped down my stencil over my paper, and this is a really large gear stencil. I'm actually not sure who makes it. I bought it off Amazon, and it just came in a pack of like 5 or 6 stencils that were 12 by 12. So I'm going to use my brush and kind of brush it around. And the reason I wet it with the Distress Oxide is because that adds water to it. So I tried to just do the packaging technique over the top of the stencil, but it wasn't really going into the stencil where I needed it to really go to show gears. So what I did was took my brush and started rubbing it in off the top of the stencil into the grooves to get it to make the gear shape. And I wanted it to be darker and lighter and not solid. So that was another reason to use the Distress Oxide, because I know that they don't usually go on evenly, I guess, because you can mix them with water since they're water based, and they'll mix in and it blends, but it doesn't uh, do it like solid. So you get a distressed look. So that's what I was going for. And then mixing the citron and the broken china actually makes a green color. And I'm okay with that because it's in the collection and it's in the papers that I chose to use. And it's also in his pajamas. So it's totally okay that they mixed together and they blended. I kind of did it on purpose. And I just kind of went around and made sure all the colors were in and blended, and there you go. That's the result. I'm going to take another stencil here. In this one, I use a foam brush, and I believe I come in with Thunderstorm, which is a Shimmerz paint. Um, did I use 2 of them? Oh no, the black one I think I just used for sprinkles, but the silver one is the one I'm going to actually put through uh, the sponge dauber, which is that there. So that's just a sponge paintbrush, and I'm just daubing it through and kind of mixing it, making it go through, but it's not, uh, it doesn't matter if it bleeds through extra because it does bleed through extra because it's a liquid. So it's not going to stencil perfectly, but that's fine because it's supposed to be, messy. So I just do that around, and that was just to add a little shimmer and shine since the Distress Oxides are flat. They're not shimmery or shiny. And now I'm just adding little extra splatters. And I'll let those dry a little bit. And then I found, I'm not sure which one. One of them's the peacock feathers, I believe is what it's called. And then peacock, I don't know. Sorry. I can get you the colors if you want to know the names of the colors. The green is um, the lettuce one, lettuce bee or something. They all have really cool, funny names. The Shimmerz Paints, if you've never worked with them before. And this one here was a black one that's called Coal. So I just added a little bit of black splatters around, and then I did paper towel those up as you saw, just because I didn't really want stark black on the layout. So it made them more of like a gray color when you roll them up with the paper towel. And then this is just white acrylic paint with water. So it's watered down. And again, I didn't want it completely white, but I wanted it, to be on the paper. And you can see it over the distress oxide areas. And this paper is actually a Vicky Bouton paper, but it's a pre-made paper on the other side. And I really didn't think I would ever use that side, so I used the white cardstock part to do my mixed media on. And it works perfectly because this paper actually didn't warp at all. It warped very little. So here I'm just taking the sponge and I drug it around the sides, the edges of the layout, to make a black line. And kind of the same thing you would do if you were inking it, but I did it with paint. That was black acrylic paint that I watered down. So here I'm going to come in with the papers, and I used the X paper that's in green and blues, and I'm going to lay that across the layout, and then that's kind of like a little landing place for the photos. And the other photo is of my nephew who was 4, and he's holding my son. He was so loving. He loved to hold my son when he was a baby. And even now, they're still really good friends, cousins. They love to play with each other or mess around. And, they're 4 years apart, but they get along really well. So there, I just added a little piece of paper. I didn't want to pop it up on foam since I'm going to put those little trucks, which you see here. And I wanted to put the little trucks, and I want to put these foam letters on the photo. So I didn't want to add a play foam underneath because that would have made it really thick. And the wood veneer is not extra thick. Some assemblage required, which is MK Gun. She uses a thinner wood veneer than some. So it's actually not very thick. And it already has adhesive on it also, so I peeled off the adhesive and put the trucks down, and they're on the photos. And then the gears, I used a die to cut those out, and that was a Tim Holtz die, and I just cut them in 3 sizes, I believe. Yeah, I cut a medium, a large, and a small. And then my little stars I'm adding around, and I believe that's it. I think that's going to be the end, and my title's just my buddy. And I was just trying to use up alphas that I have in my stash. Those are from an older Pebbles collection, I believe, a baby collection. But I just wanted to use those up, and Buddy was on there. So I added the thickers for my, and then the new little letters that are silver, those come with the Pebble collection. And it says my new little buddy, which my son was only a few weeks old in these photos. So here we go. And I should see you guys tomorrow. Hopefully I'll have another layout, and I'll see you then. Bye.